Welcome back everybody to my channel. Today I'm going over my top 10 favorite cards in my Osgir the Reconstructor deck. So Osgir the Reconstructor is 2 generic red-white for a legendary creature, giant artificer with vigilance, where you can pay 1 second to sack an artifact. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And can pay X and tap Osgir. Exile an artifact card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create 2 tokens that are copies of the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery, and he's a 4/4. So, my top 10 favorite cards to play in this deck for Osgir. Number 10 is Dragon's Approach. This is a card that was already in the deck when it came as a precon. So I got a lot more. I added them to the deck. I use this to get out either Steel Hellkite, Hellkite Tyrant, or Goldspan Dragon. I have about 15 to 20 of these in the deck. It's a lot of fun. People hate getting burned like that. But I like Dragon's Approach. Gets me my dragons out. Does a lot of fun things. 3 damage for 3 mana to everybody. Really, really underrated, I think. But these are still $2 commons. So I think it's a pretty good card. I really enjoy using it. I like it a lot. This is my number 10 favorite card in the deck. And I have multiple copies of this. Number 9, Darksteel Forge. A 9 mana artifact. Artifacts you control have indestructible. Now, I like this a lot because I run a lot of different things. In here, I run artifact creatures, just regular artifacts. So there's like Dreamstone Hedron, Soul Ring, Firemind Vessel. There's a bunch of mana rocks in here. Thran Dynamo. So giving them indestructible, having this out is just so nice. I really like having this in my deck. 9 is really expensive, but when you have those big mana rocks and you have copies of them because of Osgir, I think this really fits in the deck very well. Is my number 9 favorite card in the deck. Number 8, God Pharaoh's Statue. A legendary artifact, just 6 mana. Spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. Beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life. This is just a tax card. Usually with a deck like this, it'll take a while to kind of get going. I like to play this to tax people and to slowly ping them for life. People hate this card because it makes them pay more. But whatever. I'm already handicapping myself playing with a bunch of artifacts. Let's handicap them too. So number 8 is God Pharaoh's Statue. Number 7, first creature on the list. Angel of the Ruins. An artifact creature angel that is 5 and 2 white to cast. Flying. When Angel of the Ruins enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. So a 5/7 that exiles up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. This can really affect other people's board states, especially if you're playing a deck that runs a lot of enchantments, that I've seen a lot in my play group personally. And artifacts, everyone always has their soul rings, their things like that, arcane signet. So this card is a lot of fun because when I first cast this the first time, you get 2, but then when I sack it, bring it back to get 2 more of them, that activates twice. So you get to pretty much exile 4 things when you bring it back the second time. So if you get full value out of this with Osgir, you get to exile 6 artifacts or enchantments, which can really affect the board state for a lot of other people. All right, that's number 7 on my list. Number 6 now is Metalworking Colossus. This is a card I picked up a few months back. It's an 11-drop artifact creature construct. That's a 10/10. And it reads, Metalworking Colossus costs X less to cast, or X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. I've been able to cast this for free so many times, just because I have out like Dreamstone Hedron, Thran Dynamo, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. At that point, it's, if I'm counting it right, it should be about 9 or so right there. So at most, I usually only pay 1 or 2 mana to cast this creature. To 10/10, it's a huge just wrecking machine artifact. And you can sacrifice 2 artifacts, return Metalworking Colossus from your graveyard to your hand. So with Osgir, I can sack the little things that I copy. So say I copy an Acre Wellspring. So I copy the Acre Wellspring, I get the Metalworking Colossus. So if I copy the Acre Wellspring, I have 2 copies of it. I sack both those copies, bring this back to my hand, and then cast it for free again if I have the if I have the right stuff out, like Soul Ring, Dreamstone Hedron, those kinds of things, you know. So really nice card. I really enjoy playing it. Something different for sure. I don't see this a lot. So that's number 6. At number 5 is Goblin Engineer. So this is 1 generic and 1 red, a Goblin Artificer creature. When Goblin Engineer enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. And then for red, and to tap this, you sack an artifact, return target artifact card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a good way to get out Soul Ring early. It's a good way to get out Arcane Signet. I think Thran Dynamo is also 3. And then you can even go put creatures in there too. So any creatures that are 3 or less, you can throw in there. Like a Esper Sentinel. Those kinds of things would be really, really great with this. And if you can't do it with Goblin Engineer, you can just do it with Osgir. They do the same thing. They bring artifacts back. He's limited to CMC 3 or less, which is fine because Osgir can do the bigger ones by himself. So Goblin Engineer, a low-key staple in this deck. He's my number 5 favorite card to use. At number 4, actually, yeah, number 4 is Goblin Welder. 1 red for a 1/1 creature, Goblin Artificer. Tap. Choose target artifact the player controls and target artifact card in that player's graveyard. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves, that player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield. So pretty much, you can just swap artifacts with this. So say I have Angel of Ruins in my graveyard. I have Darksteel Forge on the field. I can just go, I'm going to tap this. I'm going to take this, put this into my graveyard, bring this back out. You get to pop 2 more things, and then you can just do it again next turn. So you can untap, flip them again. Your things are indestructible. This is gone. Next turn, flip it again. I think it's really, really underrated. I really like it a lot. I don't see a lot of people play Goblin Welder in Osgir decks, and I've seen quite a few Osgir decks as well. So I really think he's underrated. I really like him a lot. He's my number 4 favorite card to play in this deck. Okay, at number 3, Esper Sentinel. Best card draw to come out in 2021. Should be a staple in all white decks. Great for card draw. Add it to your deck. Add it to your deck. Add it to your deck. You all should already know what it does. One of the most talked about cards all year. And now number 2, Karn, Scion of Urza. A 4-drop legendary planeswalker Karn. It's just so good. It makes artifact creature tokens. It makes colorless construct artifact creature tokens with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact control. Not to mention the +1 uptick is reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses one of them, put that card into your hand, and exile the other with the silver counter on it, and then go pull that card with the silver counter the very next turn if this is alive still. I really like this card. I like using planeswalkers a lot. They're a lot of fun. They change the game a lot, I think. Really fun card to use. My number 2 favorite card right there. And number 1, another Karn. No surprise. Karn, the Great Creator. Legendary planeswalker Karn, a 4-mana card. Activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can be activated. So, you want to shut down someone, shut down their Soul Ring, boom, right here. They just don't activate. They just do not activate. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. You cut off people's Soul Rings, you cut off people's mana rocks. If they run a lot of combos off of equipment, this can really, really affect them a lot. It's +1. So you uptick 1 until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. So if I have out my Darksteel Forge, I can +1 Karn and make Darksteel Forge a 9/9 until end of turn. That is indestructible. And then for the second ability, the down tick 2, you may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card and put it into your hand. So when you're exiling cards with Osgir, you can bring them back with Karn. Karn has so much synergy with Osgir in this deck. I really enjoy Karn a lot. He's my favorite card to play in this deck. People see him, they know he's a problem. I've gotten out like 6 Soul Rings because of Karn. It is so much fun to use Karn. I highly recommend him in any Osgir deck. Go get him. He's a lot of fun. I enjoy playing him a lot. So with that being said, real quick recap of the top 10 cards in this deck. Karn, the Great Creator. Karn, Son of Urza. Esper Sentinel. Goblin Welder. Goblin Engineer. Metalworking Colossus. Angel of the Ruins. God Pharaoh's Statue. Darksteel Forge. And Dragon's Approach. As always, if you have any suggestions for the deck, any artifacts that I'm missing, or anything that I should add, any creatures that have a good effect, please let me know. I will be more than happy to read any comments about it. Make sure to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you aren't subscribed, and just let me know if you have any card like suggestions, any card combos that I could use with Osgir. I am more than happy to listen to them, to read them, to, you know, kind of just try and make Osgir better. I used him a lot when he first came out, not so much since. I feel like his power level's kind of fallen, but maybe I just need better equipment or better artifacts and stuff like that in this deck. So if you have any comments about it, any ways to upgrade this, please let me know. I will be more than willing to try and upgrade this deck. I really like playing Osgir. He's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun when I play this deck. So with that being said, once again, if you haven't already, liked the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. And with that, it's Freddy Inferno, and I'm out.